Hey everybody, this is Annie. Welcome to your TruFusion live class. Looks like you guys are just starting to get on here. Hi everyone. So we are about to do a 45-minute long yin class, TruYin. So really excited about that. I love yin, in particular TruYin. The difference with TruYin is usually that it's hot and then it's a little more active than you'll find in a traditional yin class. Of course, it can be hard to replicate the heat when you're at home. So if you have access to a space heater or a fireplace, you can prop yourself up in front of that. That can be awesome. If you don't have access to any of those things, then just throw some extra layers on. You can throw a couple sweatshirts on, you can throw some sweatpants over the top of your yoga pants, whatever you can think of. If you want to follow along with some music, I've posted the playlist. It's a Spotify playlist that we'll use. You can find it on the TruFusion ATX, True Tribe ATX Facebook page. You can find it posted on my Spotify stories under Ann Lee Bella, or you can find it under TruFusion's Spotify or Instagram stories as well. So those are all places you can find it. It's called Opening TruYin 45. So just about a minute before I'll go ahead and get started with your postures. So nice to see you guys all on here. You're gonna want some props for your TruYin class today. So if you've got some kind of strap available, it doesn't have to be a yoga strap. It can be anything at all that is gonna work as a strap. You can use a belt. It can be a kitchen towel, works really well because they're easy to grip onto. Just something that can wrap around your foot or to extend the length of your arm and easy to grab onto. Also grab a couple things maybe a couple pillows that you're gonna wanna use we're gonna use these as bolsters today. So that's a great thing about being at home. You have access to a lot of props that we don't get to ever use bolsters in a TruYin class because it's too hot and sweaty. So grab onto a pillow, one if it's a really nice firm pillow. This is one of those memory foam pillows that I don't like to use for anything other than yoga because they're too stiff to sleep, but great for yoga. If you just got a regular pillow, maybe grab a couple of them. And then I like to use towels rolled up into little Tootsie Roll shapes for replacement blocks if you don't have any yoga blocks. I've got a couple of them. So grab yourself a couple yoga blocks or a couple towels rolled up. You want one pillow or a couple if it's not a nice firm pillow. Grab something you can use as a strap. It is 4 o'clock, so we will go ahead and get started with your class. I'm gonna go ahead and start your playlist. Again, that's called Opening TruYin Playlist under my Spotify name, Annie Ness. You can find it on there. So to start your class, grab onto your bolster replacement. If you've got a yoga bolster, great. Otherwise, grab onto your pillow. Place it right along your tailbone with your feet together, feet wide apart in your Supta or your Baddha Konasana rather. Then grab onto your bolster, bring it right up to your tailbone. Allow yourself to relax over the top of it. If that's a lot on your hips or your knees right away, you can always throw your towels or your blocks underneath your knees so that it takes away a lot of the gravity pull that wants to happen when you have your feet in this shape. Close your eyes. Once you get yourself set up comfortably, try to focus all of your attention towards your breath. Take long and slow, deep inhales. Match your exhale to your inhale. You can start to create your Ujjayi prana. That's your constricted breath that you can hear and feel as you breathe in deeply through your nose. Exhale through your nose. yin class in particular, you're going to have these long holds for your postures. The long holds are amazing for your body. You get to start to work into and stretch out the connective tissues of your body. But it can be hard to stay focused when you're in these postures for that length of time. So use your breath. Your breath can distract you from the sensation as well as allow you to go deeper into your posture. Continue to breathe in and out through your nose. You can stay in your posture. If during your practice you have any questions about a posture, if it doesn't feel quite right, you can always throw a question into the comment box and I'll try to check out for those. Take 3 more deep breaths in your Supta Baddha Konasana. Take a long, slow, deep breath in. Exhale. 2 more just like that. Focus only on your breath as you breathe in and out as deeply as you can. Move your hands to the outside of your thighs. Slowly close your knees together. You can move any props out of your way gently. Just roll over onto your side. If you've got your towels or your bolster underneath you, just move those out of your way. Move your feet mat width distance apart. Start to windshield wipe your knees back and forth. Just go through a few rounds like that. You can go as quickly or as slowly as you like to feel the stretch through your hips. The next time your knees fall to the left side of your space, allow them to stay there. Keep your feet at that mat width distance apart as you come into your simple twist. Keep your shoulders connected to the ground. If right away you find this is too much intensity for your knees, you can always throw props underneath your knees again or your thighs to prop them up and keep them that way. So I'll switch myself to the side so you guys can see what your feet should look like from the side. You'll have your feet nice and wide, and you'll allow your feet and knees to fall off to the left side of your space. Again, keep your shoulders connected to your mat. You can gently gaze over your right shoulder to take the twist into your cervical spine. You're welcome to stay right here. If you'd like to add on to your stretch, take your left ankle, place it just above your knee on top of your right thigh to draw your right knee down closer toward the ground. You'll start to feel that increase the stretch through your right side. If you try that out and it's too intense on your knee, you can always remove it. Know that you're not bound to anything that you try out in your yin class. If you try something out, it doesn't feel good, just go back to where you were before. You'll feel a lot of dull aches throughout your body during your yin class, but if you feel sharp shooting pains or it feels like your joint is compromised in a position, just bring yourself out of it. It's usually not worth it to stay in if you start to feel that kind of sharp intensity. If you've got your ankle on top of your thigh, you can keep it right there. If you don't have it there, create that figure 4 shape as you bring yourself back to a neutral position. So have your right foot planted down on the ground. You'll have a figure 4 shape with your left ankle stacked right underneath your right thigh. This is what it will look like from the back. with this figure 4 shape, start to thread your left hand through the space in between your thighs. Interlock your fingers either on the outside of your right shin or on the back of your thigh. If both of those grips don't seem to work that well, you can always use a strap in between your leg and around your hands to lengthen the grip that you've got with your hands. Keep your shoulders and the back of your head connected towards your mat as you pull your right knee in towards your right shoulder. Continue to breathe in and out through your nose. To lengthen and stretch through your cervical spine, keep a slight tuck with your chin in towards your chest. Keep your head connected to the ground. Just create that little double chin as you tuck your chin in towards your chest. Keep your left foot dorsiflexed to keep your knee nice and safe. If you feel like you want to go into it a little bit deeper, you can use your left elbow on the inside of your left thigh to press your left knee forward. Eventually, the goal is to get your two knees to be in one straight line from the side view. So just think of your left knee headed forward as your right knee pulls in toward your right shoulder. Continue to breathe in and out through your nose. If you can, keep your eyes closed while you're in your yoga practice or your yin practice especially. It can be great to close your eyes. That helps you to really focus on your breath, which brings you into a deep meditation, which is one of the goals of your yoga practice, is to give yourself this space to have a really meditative experience. Keep the grip that you've got on your right leg, whether that be on the top of your shin or the back of your thigh. Gently slip your left foot down, send it to the ground in front of you. Pull your right knee out, around, in toward your side body. Avoid the very top of your rib cage, but you'll have a nice compression against your side body. I'll flip so you guys can see that from this side. So you'll have your right knee headed in toward your right shoulder. Not on the top of your rib cage, but against your side body so you get a nice compression there. Keep your interlocked finger grip for a few breaths. That's a wonderful hand massage. It's great for working into your little finger joints. But after a few breaths, if you'd like to go a little bit deeper, you can grab for opposite elbows or forearms over the top of your shin. If the top of your shin grip doesn't work, you can always grab underneath your shin around your thigh as well. Take another deep inhale, deeply exhale. Start to move into half happy baby. Move your right foot up toward the sky like you're going to stamp the ceiling above you with your foot. You'll keep it nice and dorsiflexed. Try to create the angle with your right ankle to your right knee to your right hip. Grab the inside arch of your right foot with your right hand. Start to pull your right knee down toward the space past your armpit toward the ground. Try to keep your left hip connected to the ground. If it wants to roll up, place your left hand on top of it. Use it as your own personal assistant to keep your left hip planted onto the ground as you open through your right hip. Continue to breathe in and out through your nose. If you find sensations coming up during your practice, Try to distract yourself from those sensations, especially if they're unpleasant. If all you can seem to focus on is what is uncomfortable during your yin practice, try to distract yourself with thoughts of something else. Your breath is one of the most amazing things to try to focus on. Not only will you increase the quality of your breath with all of that attention, but you also start to train your mind into the realization that you get to control what you focus on. If you have a toe extension in your practice, you can extend your right toes down toward the ground. Otherwise, just stay in your half happy baby for a few more breaths. Slowly grab the outside of your right shin with your left hand. Use that grip to draw your right knee across your body off toward the left side of your space. Keep your shoulders connected to the ground in your twist. Doesn't matter how far across your body you can draw your right knee, that will be the length of your twist, but avoid your shoulder rolling up to give you extra space for your twist. That keeps the bulk of your twist into your lumbar and thoracic spine, much thicker, stronger vertebrae that can handle that kind of stress. That keeps your cervical spine nice and safe. And you can gaze over your right shoulder to gently twist into your cervical spine. Rotate so you guys can see this from the opposite direction. Stay right here if this feels good for you. If you'd like to add on a little more, you can extend your right leg straight over toward the left side of your space. If you want to try that extension, but you don't quite have the ability to grip onto your foot with your left hand, this is a great place for your strap. Put your strap around your right foot. Use that to lengthen the grip that you've got with your hand to get that nice hamstring stretch added into your twist. You can keep your gaze over your right shoulder toward the right side of your space to stretch into your neck. Turn this into your cattail stretch. You'll keep your right leg as it is, or you can put a bend into it if it was straight. Bend into your left leg, grab the top of your left foot with your right hand. So turn this into your cattail, pulling your cattail stretch. If you don't quite have the length or the grip, the ability to grip onto the top of your left foot with your right hand, use a strap again. If you had it around your right foot, you can remove it. Use it here on the top of your left foot. If you can't quite get that grip still with both of your shoulders connected onto the ground to turn this into a twist, you can roll up onto your left side as well to forget about the twist part and just turn this into your cattail stretch so you get the nice quad stretch through your left side. Think of your left knee headed off toward the right side of the room, so eventually your left knee will be directly underneath your left hip to feel the more intensity through your stretch. If you feel okay with it, you can keep the twist aspect with both shoulders connected onto the ground, gaze over your right shoulder. 3 more breaths here. Deep inhale, exhale, deeply inhale, exhale. 1 more inhale. Deep exhale through your nose. Gently release the grips you've got on your foot or with your strap. Pull your knees back in toward your chest. Give yourself a nice tight squeeze. You can rock gently from side to side. Maybe pull your forehead up towards your knees. Make yourself into a tight little ball. Whatever feels good. Plant your feet back down on your mat width distance apart again. Take a few more rounds of windshield wipes. Windshield wipe your knees back and forth. After a couple rounds of windshield wipers, allow your knees to fall off to the right side of your space this time. Keep your feet at that hip width, or that mat width rather, distance as you bring this into your simple twist with your knees off to the right. If this is too intense on your knees, if you have any kind of knee pain, or if it's too intense on your hips, you can always prop your knees and hips up with your blocks or your makeshift blocks, your towels. You can send your gaze over your left shoulder to turn this into your cervical spine twist. You're welcome to stay right here. If you want to create more intensity through this part of your stretch, place your right ankle on top of your left thigh, just above where your knee is. If you try that out and it's too much, you can just remove it back down again. That'll give you more stretch through your left side. Continue to breathe in and out through your nose. If you've got your right ankle on top of your left thigh, keep it right there. If you don't, you can shift yourself back to center, then create this figure four shape with your right ankle this time stacked underneath your left thigh for your figure four shape. Spread your right hand through the space that you've created. Interlock your fingers on the outside of your left shin or the back of your thigh to start to pull your left knee in toward your left shoulder. Again, if that grip is difficult to get, you can always use a strap through this space. You want to go through the triangle space, and you can use your strap to lengthen the grip that you can get with your arms. Keep your right foot dorsiflexed. You can always start to use your right elbow on the inside of your right thigh to press your right knee forward as you pull your left knee in toward your left shoulder. Keep the base of your head against your mat. Keep your chin tucked in toward your chest. Be mindful in this position if you start to notice that you've lifted your tailbone up to get your knee closer toward your shoulder. Keep your spine connected down toward the surface beneath you, your mat, if you're on one. So keep your tailbone tucked down with your tailbone glued onto your mat. Then go as far as you can with your left knee in toward your left shoulder, rather than allow your spine to compromise itself to get deeper into the other aspects of your stretch. Continue to breathe in and out through your nose. Keep the grip that you've got on your left shin or the back of your left thigh. Gently slip your right foot down into the ground. Pull your left knee in to your left shoulder. Avoid the very top of your rib cage. Get that nice compression against your left side body. You started with your right side. You got your ascending colon. You did Uttanasana to get your transverse. Now with your left side, you get to gently massage your descending colon. Keep your interlocked finger grip for a few breaths, whether it be on the back of your thigh or the top of your shin, to get your nice finger and hand massage. After a few breaths, if you want to get some deeper compression, Grab for opposite elbows or opposite forearms over the top of your shin. Really feel that little pinch at the base of your hip from how compressed you get your knee in toward your shoulder. Continue to keep your chin slightly tucked in toward your chest. Create that little double chin. Move into half happy baby. Send the sole of your left foot up toward the sky like you're going to plant your foot against the ground. Create those 90-degree angles from your left hip to left knee to left ankle. Grab the inside arch of your foot. Keep your right hip connected to your mat. Use your right hand on the top of your hip if your hip wants to roll up. Pull your left knee down toward the space past your armpit. If this is a difficult grip to get, you could always use your strap over the top of your foot as well to give yourself extra space. Focus on those nice straight lines in your happy baby pose. You can always use your strap to give your grip extra length. Continue to breathe in and out through your nose. Turn this into your twist. Grab the outside edge of your left shin with your right hand. Twist your left knee across your body toward the right side of your space. Keep your shoulders connected to your mat. If that means that you get less of a twist to keep your shoulders connected, that's perfectly okay. Just have your first priority, both shoulders connected as you pull your left knee over toward the right side of your space. Flip around so you guys can see that from the other side. Continue to breathe in and out through your nose. If you'd like to extend your legs straight toward the right side of your space, you can grab the outside edge of your toes with your right hand onto your left foot. If you can't quite get that grip, you can use your strap. That way you get to get the hamstring stretch in along with your twist. You can keep your legs straight or you can bend it again, whichever your flexibility wants to give you for today, to turn this into your cat tail stretch. So you'll have your right knee over toward your left knee rather, over toward the right side of your space. Grab onto the top of your right foot with your left hand. As you take your cattail stretch with your left hand on top of your right foot, if you find that it's too much to have both of your shoulders connected to the ground and have that intense twist during it, you can always just roll over onto your right side. You can support your head with your hand. That way you get your quad stretch in. You've already gotten a lot of your twists, so if that works better, you can always roll onto your right side. Just focus on the cattail stretch without the twist aspect. If the grip is still hard to get, you've always got your strap. Your strap is a great tool to increase the length of your arm to get your solid grip. Take 3 more deep breaths. Slowly unwind, roll yourself back to the center of your space, give yourself another big tight squeeze. You can grab behind your thighs or the top of your shins, roll from side to side. Take a full happy baby stretch. So both of your knees now will be in the position that you had them when you had your half happy baby. You can grab the inside arches of your foot, maybe rock back and forth in your happy baby pose. Grab behind your thighs, start to rock and roll. Rock forward and back, forward and back. Land in a boat pose. You've got options for your boat pose. You can keep your hands behind your thighs. You can keep your ankles in line with your shins. If you want, you can plant your toes onto the ground, whichever feels more comfortable for you. Of course, you can always send your legs out. You can send your arms up, arms out, whatever feels good. Just hold this for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Cross at your ankles. Bring yourself into a downward facing dog. So roll over onto your hands and knees. Bring yourself into downward facing dog. You can pedal out through your down dog if that feels good. Your purpose in down dog is to create a nice neutral straight spine. If you need to put a big bend in your knees to send your hips higher, send your torso closer to your thighs, whatever you need to get your spine nice and straight. Shift yourself forward into a high plank. Lift up through your right leg. Just start to swing your knee from side to side. From the front, you're in your high plank. Bring your right knee down in line with your right hip. Just start to swing your knee from side to side. This gives you a good idea of where your hip mobility lies, which you're gonna want as you transition into your half pigeon next. Shift yourself back into down dog. Keep your right leg high. Swing yourself back into high plank, keep your knee there, shift it from side to side. Bring your knee over as far toward your left wrist as it will go. Then start to plant yourself down into your downward facing dog. Or rather, bring your right knee as close to your right wrist as it will go. Start to plant yourself down into your half pigeon pose. So wherever your shin wants to move in your little swings that you do with your knee, that gives you a good idea of where it's going to want to go when you're in your half pigeon pose. If you're lifted right here, try to avoid a big collapse downward through your right side. This is a great place to put some props. So you can put your blankets underneath your right hip. You can put your pillows underneath your right hip, or your towels rather, blankets, pillows, whatever you've got. Prop your right hip up so that your hips get to stay square toward the ground. Then you can start to walk yourself down onto your forearms to relax into your half pigeon pose. You can always keep your heel on your right side pulled in closely toward your left hip. If you find that your flexibility in your hips is really a lot and you have a lot of mobility there, then work your shin closer toward the front edge of your mat to give yourself that extra stretch. But if it's pretty tight, there's a big tight hip club in America, so you're in good company. Just keep your foot pulled in closer toward your left hip. Then relax yourself forward and down. Continue to breathe in and out through your nose. Half pigeon pose is a huge hip stretch. So it's very normal to have a lot of tension and tightness in this posture. Use your breath especially here. Try to focus your thoughts elsewhere, somewhere other than the intense feeling that you get through your hip. Take 3 more deep breaths in your half pigeon pose. Deeply inhale, exhale, big inhale, exhale. 1 more deep inhale, exhale. Slowly start to walk yourself up. If you've got a towel or blanket or prop underneath your right hip, just move it out of your way so that you can swing yourself over onto your right hip and move yourself into Gomukhasana, or your cow-faced legs. Try to stack your left knee on top of your right knee here. If that's really intense, you can always put your props again. You can put one underneath your bottom knee to help to lift your bottom knee. You can also put one in between your bottom knee and top knee. Both of those can make this one a little bit more accessible. If you've got really great range of motion in this position and you need to feel more intensity, if you've got your knees stacked on top, it's easy. You want more intensity, then start to slide your shins forward to create a straight line from ankle to ankle. That's going to make it a lot more intense. But otherwise, just bring yourself into a spot where you feel good. Inhale, reach your arms up. As you exhale, lean yourself forward. You can rest yourself. Wherever you end up here is fine. If your arms end up on top of your shin, you can use that. If you want to use another prop, you can always use your pillow or whatever you've got on top of your legs. If you can get yourself with your torso rested on your top thigh, you can bring your arms down in front of you. Try to relax through the crown of your head. Slowly start to walk yourself back up. You'll keep your right leg right where it is. Swing your left leg around, almost like you're going to transition back through your half pigeon pose again, but you'll just pause with these 90-degree angles from your right hip to your right knee to right ankle, and you'll have that again on your left side. Left knee to your left hip is a straight line, left knee to left ankle. If this is too intense, pull your heels in closer toward the back of your thigh or your hamstring. So you've got these angles, you're headed into your deer pose. Start to twist yourself over your right thigh. The twist is going to be dependent on how much your body wants to give you. So it might not be a huge twist. You might be more over toward the front of your knee. If you've got a lot of twist through your spine and your torso, then you can twist maybe over your right thigh completely. Rest yourself onto your forearms. If you can rest your forehead onto the ground, you can take that option. If you want a little bit more rest in this posture, but you can't reach down that far for either one of those, stack up your props. Your props are a great tool to utilize in this space to give you a little extra room between yourself and the ground. When you find yourself in twist positions, really pull your belly in toward your spine. That's going to give you an extra abdominal massage, keep your spine nice and safe, and give you extra space to twist into your posture. Continue to breathe in and out through your nose. Slowly start to bring yourself back up into a neutral position. You'll keep your right leg where it is. Swing your left leg all the way back around behind you to transition through your half pigeon pose. Tuck your left toes under, send your right leg up to the sky, bring yourself into your half pigeon. You can take some circles with your right hip, roll your hip out, get rid of any tension that you might have had there. You can shake out your leg. Bring yourself back into downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths in downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left leg high. As you exhale, shift yourself into your high plank pose. Keep your left knee directly in line with your left hip. Just start to swing your knee from side to side. Loosen up through your hip. Start to get an idea of how much mobility your hip wants to give you today. And slowly draw your left knee toward your left wrist. Bring your shin as far forward as it wants to go. If you've got a lot of hip space in your hips, your shin might bring itself parallel to the short edge of your mat. Otherwise, you can keep it back toward your right hip on this side. If you have space between your left hip and the ground, use one of your props. You can use your towel underneath there. You can use your pillow. Just keep your hips nice and even as you stretch yourself down to the ground. If you need extra space in the front to get your hands down toward the ground, you can use your pillow underneath there. Take 3 more deep breaths. Slowly start to walk yourself up. If you've got your prop underneath your hip, move it out of your way. Swing onto your left hip, move into your Gomukhasana. Stack your right knee on top of your left. If you've got restrictions through your hips so that your knees have a huge space in between them, you can always use props. You can stack them in between your knees. If you've got a lot of pressure, you can always put a prop underneath your bottom knee. That can be a really comfortable or more comfortable, I'll avoid the word comfortable in your TruYin class. It could be a more comfortable way to try to get into this stacked knee Gomukhasana, your cow face. Inhale, reach your arms up. As you exhale, extend your torso forward. If you can get your forearms to rest on the ground, that's great. If you've got a lot of space there, use whatever you've got available to stack in between yourself and your top thigh to give yourself some rest as you stretch through your hips. few more deep breaths. Slowly start to walk yourself back up. Turn this into your deer pose. Keep your left leg where it is. Swing your right knee around so your right knee and right hip line up. Left hip, left knee, left ankle. Create your angles. Then twist over to the left side. That might mean you're twisted over your knee. If you've got a lot of torso twists, you can twist over your thigh. Rest yourself wherever you find is comfortable. Slowly start to walk yourself back up. Transition through your half pigeon pose. Bring your right leg back behind you. Extend your left leg up to the sky. If you took out any kind of circles or shook your leg, take those again. Then transition back through your hands and knees onto your bum so you can position yourself for your final resting posture. If you want to use your pillow as a supported fish at the base of your spine, to come into your final resting posture, that can be a really restorative posture. Otherwise, you'll just bring yourself into your shavasana. So lie on your back with your hands and feet out naturally. Start to breathe in and out through your nose. If you've got some extra time to stay in your shavasana, please feel free to stay. Take as much time as you need or want or have for yourself. Thank yourself for giving this time that you've gotten to stretch and breathe. It's so important to create these little escapes for yourself, even if it seems difficult to do when you're surrounded by so much stimulus at your house. If you're surrounded by family, there's a million other things that are easy to do at home rather than sit in a space and do yoga. So thank you for creating this time for yourself. Thanks for joining me. Thank you to TruFusion for giving us this opportunity to share this content for free. If you feel like donating at all, on the TruFusion South Austin Instagram page, they have a couple of spots linked where you can donate for all of this free content that they're putting out for everybody. Again, my name's Annie. I can't wait to see you guys in the studio. Again, thank you so much for being here today. I will see you all soon.